All right, so I was talking about what is the selling price? What is the selling price?
900, 900 for product A and 800 for product T.
Okay, what are their variable costs?
Machine and then machine cost and then labor cost, material cost.
Okay, so variable overhead for machine and the variable overhead for machine and material cost. Those are the two the two cost that is relevant to the decision. So if you are doing this, but let's come here. Please, let's determine what is the what? The limiting factor here. What will be the bottleneck or the limiting factor here? Okay, let's determine the material. Okay, so you have to determine what the limiting factor over there is. So let's determine whether it is material or whether it is machine. If it is machine, which of the machine? Okay, so we now look at the limiting.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Please, sorry. Can you go back to the question 1B solution? I want to check something.
I don't have that. My Zoom went off. My board also went off. I don't have that now.
Oh, that's that. Okay.
Okay, let's come to material. Let's determine whether material will be having effect on. They say you should produce only one of them. So if we should produce only one of them, do we have the material to produce any of these ones? So we are going to be determining what the limiting factor will be. So do we have material? The total material available is 136,000. Okay, but let's come here. If we are producing K, product K, what is the total quantity of raw material that we have to use? Product K, what will be the total quantity of raw material that we have to use? Product
118,400.
118,400. That is a 59,000. We are producing 59,200. 59,200 multiplied by 2. We are going to be having 1 and what?
18,400.
118,400.
Okay, 118,400 kilogram. Let's count to product T. Okay, what will be if we want to produce product T, what will be the total quantity of material that we are going to be using? That will be 80,000.
160,000.
Okay, so in terms of material, we can only produce what? Product K, isn't it? Okay, so product T cannot be produced. All the product T cannot be produced using using the material that we have available. That will be 136. Okay, so let's count to the machine. So let's see the machine. Okay, let's count to the machine. So we have two machines. Let's have the machine A and the machine B. So machine A, if we are producing products K, what will be the total machine hours that we'll be using there?
$14,800.
14,800. So we're having 14,800. So that will be 0.25 multiplied by 59,200. So 0.25 multiplied by 59,200. Okay. So I'm having 14,800 hours. Okay. Let's count to product T.
That will be 12,000.
Okay. So that will be 0 0.15, 0.15 multiplied by 8,000. That will be 12,000. Okay. Let's come to machine. Let's come to machine.
Yeah, the total is 26,800.
Okay, 26,800.
800.
Okay. What is the hours available?
13,600.
Okay. 13,600. So in terms of hours, we need to produce what? Product T, isn't it? Okay. In terms of hours, we need to produce product T.
Yes.
Okay. Let's come to machine B. What will be the product K? Would that be 0.2 multiplied by the line B? Would that be 0.2 multiplied by 59,200?
Yes, that will be 11,840.
11,840. Okay, 11,840. So 11,840. Okay. Then we come to the second one. What are we going to do?
18,000.
Okay, so we have
18,000.
0.225 multiplied by 80,000 units. That will be 18,000. How many hours are there?
29,000. 29,000.
29,840. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Yes.
In terms of if you are using machine C, machine B, what are we going to be producing? If you are using,
We can produce.
you can produce any of them, isn't it?
Yes,
No.
we can produce any of them.
No. The machine A is 15,360. So we can only produce the K. Okay. This one is 18,000. T is 18,000. Okay. But the issue now is over here is that what will be the major limiting factor here? What will be the major? What is the major? We can see that we have a lot of limiting factors. What will be the major limiting factor here?
The material.
The material.
Material.
Okay. So the material. So the only thing is that we are coming to ask ourselves, okay, we cannot compare which of the quantity that we are going to be producing just looking at the contribution that will be coming from them. So let's calculate the contribution per unit. Okay. So the contribution per unit for all of them. So let's have product K and product T. What is the selling price?
900, 800.
900 and 800. Okay. What is the material cost? What will be the material cost for each of them? Okay, we have to determine that as the material cost. Material cost is 50 per kilogram. How many kilogram are we using for each of them? 2. So that will be 100, 100. The material cost will be 100 and 100. What is the machine cost? The variable machine cost is how much for each of them? 500.
500 and 600.
Okay. 500 and what? 600.
600.
Okay. 500.
I think these ones are per hour or say
They are per. Let me check.
per hour.
Okay, let me check that. Okay, they are per machine hour. So we multiply by the variable machine overhead for machine line A. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we have to do it for all of them one by one. So let's do the machine line A and B also for them differently. So line A, what will be the cost for line E. So we have line E. What will be the cost? It will be the
125.
125.
okay, 125. Okay, so 0.25 multiplied by 500. Okay, 125. T will give us what?
75.
Okay,
75.
T will give us 75. So line B is what? Line B.
120.
120. 135.
Okay, so that will be 0.2 multiplied by the 600. 120 and 120 and what?
135.
135.
135.
So what will be our contribution per unit?
590.
555 and 800 minus 100.
190.
190.
Okay,
190.
okay, that will be 490. Okay, we know that our major limiting factor over here. Yeah, Sina Mohammed, I saw your hand up.
Senior, sorry, I'm a bit confused with how we computed for the material cost in the machine line A and B. How we arrived at those figures.
Someone should help.
From the question, say the maximum quantity of material X available. Then you give the price. Material, the material is purchased at 50 per kilo. So you multiply 50 by the by 5 to get 100 for each, because they are using 2 kilograms for each. And then when you come to the machine, you say the machine cost A and B, the maximum is you see the one is 500 and then the other one is 600. Okay, so variable machine overhead for product line A and line B estimated at 500 and 600 per machine hour. So then the hour is 0.25 and then the other one is 0.15. So you multiply 500 by 0.25. The other one is 0.15 multiplied by 600. Then you do the same thing for material B, which is 0.2 and then 0.225 by 600 to get this figure.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So let's come here. We are saying that yes, no, thank you for that. So we are saying that the major limiting factor over here will be what? Will be the material, because we have to purchase and produce. We have to purchase the material produced before the weaving pass through the what? The line process or the machine process. If you don't have the material, how would the production continue? Okay, so we can see that they are all using what? They are all using 222, isn't it? They are also using the material of 222. Is that correct? They are all using material per unit is 222. Okay,
Yes.
so if they are all using 222, we can say that we should produce product K, isn't it?
Yes.
But if you are producing product K now, okay, if you are producing product K now, you can see that you will not be able to produce all of them. You will not be able to produce all of them because you need 14,800 hours of product of machine line A to produce product K. But the hours available on that now is what? The hours available
13,600.
is 13,600. So it means that we cannot produce all the 59,200. Okay. So what is going to happen is that we are going to be calculating the contribution that we'll be getting from each of them. Then we'll pick the one that is going to be giving us what? The higher contribution. Then we move on. Okay, then we select that one. So you cannot use the material to rank them. Okay, you cannot use the material to rank them because the material is not only the limiting factor there. If you're using the material, you cannot produce all the 59,200. Okay, so we are saying that we should produce product K, but the machine hours available on product K. The machine hours available on line A, the total hours available is, okay, so let's count to line A. The total hours available, line A, the total hours available is 13,600. Okay, so if we want to produce product K first, how many of product K are we going to be producing? 13,600. If we want to produce product K, how many are we going to be producing? The number of units multiplied by 0.25 will give us I'm getting 54,400.
Yes.
Okay. So the number of units will give us, okay, the number of units is calculated as the hours available divided by the hour per unit. So that will give us 5,400 units. Okay. If you produce 5,400 units, what will be your resulting contribution? The contribution will be 555 multiplied by 5,400. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
How much are we getting? I'm getting 30 million. 192. 30 million.
192,000.
Okay. Let's count to if you are producing products. This is product K. If we are producing product T, what will be the major limiting factor? What will be if we are producing
sir.
product T? Yes, please.
Yeah, please, I have a question. Why are we multiplying the hours with the contribution to determine the total contribution and not with the demand rather?
Oh, what is the hours and what is the hours? What are you calling the hours? Which figure are you referring to as the hours?
I mean the 13,600.
We are not multiplying anything by 13,600.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If we are producing product T, okay, let's come here. If you are producing product T, okay, if we are producing product T, okay, you see that the material will be what? Will be the first limiting factor, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And you see that machine B will also be a limiting factor there, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's come here. If we are producing product T, how many units can we produce? Because the available material, the material available for products, the total material available, the total material, so the material available is 136,000 kilograms. So if you are producing product K, you can get all the 136,000. Okay. Because if you want to produce all of them, is one and something. Okay. If you want to produce all the product of product K, you are going to be getting the hours on the machine B also. But the line A, we cannot take all that one through the line A. So our production will not be limited to 54,400 units. Because if you are producing all the 59,200, it cannot pass through. We don't have the maximum machine hours on line A to process this. So we have to now look at what the machine hours that will be on the line E to determine the quantity that we are going to be producing. Okay. So if we are producing product T, okay, what will be the number of units that we have to produce? If we are producing product T, what is the number of units that we have to produce?
136 divided by 260.
Okay. 136,000 divided by 2. What are we having?
68,000.
Okay, 68,000 units. But the question is that 68,000 units, do we have the hours to be able to produce all of this? Okay, so let's check if we have the hours on product K and product T to produce that. Okay, we know that the hours per unit for product T is 0.5 on machine A, 0.5 multiplied by 68,000. Okay, I'm getting 10,200. Okay, so we have, let me go and look for the hours required for that. So the line A, the hours will be 0.15 multiplied by 68,000. Okay, how much are we going to be producing? How many hours are we going to be using? 10,200. Okay,
Yes, 10,200.
let's count to line B. Line B will be 0. What? 0.225. 0.225 multiplied by 68,000. What are we having?
15,300.
15,300. Do we have the hours available to produce the product T also?
Yes.
Okay, we can
Yes.
produce. We can produce now, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
So if we can produce, then it means that what will be the contribution from producing that? So we just compare the contribution and make our decision. So the contribution will be 490 multiplied by 68,000 units. How much are you getting?
$33,320,000.
So we have 33.
It's 190.
Is it? Contribution is 490, not 190. Okay. 33. Okay, 2. Okay, so which one are you picking?
C.
Okay, they should produce what?
C.
Okay. They should
But,
produce.
hello, sir.
Yes, please.
I think with the, I'm just asking you, with the product T, the limiting factor with machine.
Zina, I can't hear you. Zina, are you still talking?
So I don't know why you use the material limiting factor.
I
That is the
didn't hear,
material and then
I didn't hear anything up to this level. Is it from our side or is from all of you?
I think all of them.
Okay. Zina, we didn't hear anything up to this level. Okay. All right. So any question about that? This is not a typical limiting factor question. The limiting factor, the only thing is that they will be giving you only, you see that you'll be giving only one word factor, which is limited. But this one, you can see that we have a lot of issues here. So this is how we go about this. You can't use the material to determine that. If you use the material to determine that, you will be producing product T, product K. But the product K, all the material cannot pass through what? The line A. So it will be limited. So you just have to find your resulting contribution as the what? Because the fixed cost will still be the same. So if you are producing if you are producing these products, okay, if you should pass through all the process, how many units are you going to be taking through the process, and what will be the resulting contribution? You calculate that. You come to the second one too. If you want to produce this one, okay, what will be the unit that will pass through all the process successfully? You also calculate that, then you multiply by your contribution per unit. Then you can now compare. But if you want to use just a limiting factor to determine, you'll be picking the material K, which all the material K cannot pass through what? The line what? Line B. So you just ask yourself, how many units do I have to produce based on all the things that I'm having? What is the resultant contribution? Then you now use the contribution as your basis of recommending which product they should produce. Okay. But if you're using material, you'll be saying that they should produce product K, which at the end of the day will not be the right one. Yeah. Senior Mohammed, I your hand up. Okay, calculate which of the component K or T should be produced and sold in the year in order to maximize profit. You should state the number of units to be produced and sold and the resultant what? Contribution. Okay, so they should sell 68,000 of product T instead of what? 54,400 of product K. Okay, that will maximize their profits. Okay, and the number of units and the resultant contribution. We have done all those things now. Okay. Dela Limited wishes to consider additional sales outlets, which could earn a contribution at the rate of 400 and 600 per machine hour for machine line A and machine line B, respectively. Such additional sales outlets will be taken up only to utilize any surplus hours required for the production of the components. Calculate whether Dela Limited should now produce either component K or T and what quantity to be produced and the resulting contribution. Very, very simple. Okay. If we are producing 4,000, so we now look at our decision now. Okay. Available based on the hours now that we have now. Okay, we are not going to be, if we are producing K, would there be any machine hours left on line A? Will there be any machine hours left on line A? If you are producing product K, okay, we are producing 54,400. Okay, would there be any machine hours left on line A for product K? That will be 0. There will be 0 machine hours over there. So why? Because line A will be equal to 5,400 multiplied by 0.25, and that will give us a 13,600 hours. Okay, that will be 13,600 hours available on that particular machine. Okay, so that will give us line A. There will not be any machine hours left there. Okay, but let's come to line B. Line B, what will be the machine hours there? That will be 5,400 multiplied by the requirements for line B. That will be 0.2.
0.1.
Okay, multiplied by 0.2. How many hours are we going to be using?
10,880.
Okay, so 5, 4. So I'm having 10,880. But what is the maximum hours available?
15,360.
15. The maximum hours is 15,360. So what will be the hours left if we are producing the 54,400? What will be the spare capacity on machine? So we look for the spare capacity. The spare capacity that will give us 15,360 minus 1088. Okay, how much are we getting?
4,480.
Okay, 480 hours.
Yes.
Let's come to
Okay.
the contribution
My friend,
for that K. Okay, contribution from product K, the resulting contribution now, we now total all the contribution. It will be this figure plus the one that will be coming from. So we have the contribution itself. Okay, we'll be having a contribution of 55 multiplied by 54,400. Then that will give us the figure that we have first, 31. So let's keep 3 zeros at the top here. So we have 31, 3192. Okay. So the contribution from the machine also will be coming here. Okay. What is the contribution per hour? We are given a contribution per hour for each of them. Okay. Contribution per hour here. Machine B will be what? Will be 600. So we have the 44. So that will be 600 multiplied by an hour is 600 multiplied by 4480. What are we having?
2688.
Okay, 2688. Okay, what will be the available, the total contribution under this one? Okay, 32880. Okay, let's count to products. If we are producing products T. Okay, product T, what are the hours that we have got? These are the hours, isn't it? If we are producing all the 68,000, we are going to be using line A, machine hours of 10,200. But what is the hours available there? What is the maximum hours available on product A? On line A. Okay. Maximum hours available.
13,600.
Okay. So if we have a maximum hours of 13,600, but we are using only 10,200, what would be the spare capacity for that? So the spare capacity will be the maximum hours available minus what? 10,200. What are we having?
8,400.
Okay. 3,400. Let's count to spare capacity on line B. Would there be any spare capacity on line B? Let's look at that. The maximum hours available is what?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. Please, I want you to, the spare capacity
Okay.
is 15,360. I think maybe 36. Oh, if you can check that one.
15.
No. The solution,
Which one?
your solution. Please go to the whiteboard.
15.
Not here. The next week. Spare capacity, 15,000. Yes. 15,360 minus 10,880. Yeah.
Okay. So this
But I
is
had a network problem. I was asking a question, but what's the network?
okay. So this one we are using 15,300. Let me finish this one so that we can take the question. Okay. We are using 15,300. What would be the hours there?
60.
Okay, that will be 60. So let's count to our contribution now. Okay. Our contribution now for product T. We have our normal contribution from the production. Okay. And that was 490 multiplied by 68,000. Okay. And we have that figure of 33. So let's keep the 3 zeros at the top also for them. So we have 33. So we have 3, 3, 3, 2, 0. let's come to machine line A. Okay, machine line A, the contribution from that place will be 3,400 multiplied by what? Let's do that.
400.
Okay, multiplied by 400. Okay, how much are we getting?
1360.
1,360.
1360.
Okay. Then we count to line B. We are going to be having 60 hours multiplied by 600. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. How much are we getting?
36,000.
Okay. So that will be 36, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So what will be our total contribution now?
That's 4716.
Okay. So 30.
716.
So 34,716. Which component should be produced? It should still produce T, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So the contribution is not going to be based on the machine, only the machine. You see that if they are utilizing the machine, it will be product K, because product K will be giving us what? A higher quantity, a higher contribution per the machine hours. But what about the product itself? What about the product itself? They are only going to be using the what? The surplus hours not used. So we know the unit that they will be producing, 54,400 for product K and 68,000 over here. So after we have produced this, what will be the surplus machine hours left? That is what we have done over there. And the surplus machine hours will be adding to what? To the normal contribution that we'll be getting from our production. Then you just have to calculate and add it to your existing product, contribution, and that will give you the what? The contribution for whatever they are asking you. So you just look at the contribution also and what? And advise which quantity should be what? Should be produced by each of them. All right, suggest ways in which the company may overcome the capacity constraints, which limit the opportunities available to it in the year, and indicate the types of costs which may be incurred in overcoming each constraint. So how do we deal with the capacity constraint? We have material constraint. We also have the machine hours constraint. How do we deal with them? We have issue if we want to produce all, we have to buy a material to produce all of them. Okay, if we want to produce all of them again, we need to increase our machine capacity also. So how should they overcome this? Please don't talk about issues of opportunity cost here, because we are not going to be making sacrifice. We want to produce all of the demand available. So there will not be any sacrifice. But what we have to do is that we have to purchase we have to look for alternative sources to get the material, and we also have to expand, or we also have to acquire additional machine on each of the lines to expand the hours available there. So to do this is either we purchase or we look for alternative sources, because the maximum quantity for material X available is 136,000. So it means that we have to purchase additional, or we have to look for additional supply source so that we can get the 136,000. We have to look for additional supply source. Maybe the person who is supplying this to us is is can only supply 136,000 kilograms, okay, at a certain price, then it means that we have to get additional one at a higher price. That is what we have to do. It is not that the materials are not available. They are available, but just at the price that we are going to be getting it, the price will be different. One will be selling at a higher price, and we don't want that. So we want to stick to what we have and utilize it. Now we want to what? We want to produce all the units. It means that we need to look for alternative sources that might be at a higher price to purchase additional machine, or we also to purchase additional raw material so that we can produce all, or we expand our what? Our machine by purchasing a new what? A new machine or modern machine to add to what we already have. So we have to also expand the machine capacity so that we can have a lot of what? Hours on each of the line. What is likely to be the cost that we are going to be incurring over here? What is that likely to be the cost? So the cost of purchasing the additional what? Machine, or the cost of employing additional people on the machine, that will also be a cost. Okay, the cost of purchasing additional material now, which will always be what we call the shadow pricing. Okay, so what is the maximum amount that you are willing to pay for the what? For the limiting factor, which is the material. That's what we call the shadow pricing, which we look at the last time. Yes, Neriko, I can now pick your question.
But please let me see the white box.
Okay.
I think my network. So okay, so let me ask this question. I was saying that the limiting factor for product T was two. One has to do with the material, and then the other one has to do with the machine B. So I wanted to find out, why did you use the material instead of the machine?
Why do we use
Material?
Okay.
Because the material for, yes, the limiting factor was the material was 160,000, and then when it comes to machine B, it was 18,000. So these are both limiting factor for producing material T.
Okay.
Just so if you can explain why you use the material, because both are limiting factors. That's my question.
Okay. But which of these will happen first? Before you can take the product through the process, what are you going to be doing first?
Okay, you have to get the material.
Okay. So if you get a material, then you now pass through the what? Okay. So for the product K, I've used what we actually used was are you talking about product T?
Yes, product T, yes.
Okay.
Because product T, the limiting factors are two:
Okay.
material and machine B.
Okay. So the material is the first one, and the
second one was machine T, machine
okay.
B.
Okay. So if we are coming here, what are we going to be producing here? The material will produce 68,000, isn't it? Okay. If we want to use all the material available, we have to go and purchase 68,000, isn't it? Okay. Then you now ask yourself,
Yes.
can 68,000 pass through all the process? Can a 68,000 pass through all the process? Okay. If the 68,000 cannot pass through the process, then that is fine. But if you want to use the limiting factor, okay, let me see where we have that one for. Okay. If you want to produce all of this will be 18,000, isn't it? Okay. If you want to produce all the 80,000, that will be 18,000, isn't it? We are going to be
Yes,
using 18,000
yes,
hours. Okay. The hours available is 15,360, isn't it?
15,360, yes.
Okay. 15,360. If you divide by this, you'll be getting the quantity that you have to produce, isn't it? Okay. How many? What are you getting?
Yes.
68,260.
Okay. We are going to be getting 68,260. But do we have the material to produce all of this? No. The material
No.
that we need, we have is
Okay.
136,000, 500 something. Okay. So you just ask yourself, the material should be the first one. You have to buy before it will pass through the process. So if I want to produce, how many am I going to be producing? 68,000. Would this be able to pass through all the process? Okay. If this will not be able to pass through the process, then I have to now reduce to the quantity that can pass through the process. All right.
I think apart from that, the rest I couldn't get it, so I'll have to watch the video.
All right. Question number
Not
4,
the first one.
relevant costing.
Let me check the-
Auntie Ba, are you sleeping? Auntie Ba, are you sleeping? Auntie Ba. Yeah, someone should help us with the last one. Question number 4.
A company has been asked to provide a quotation for an engineering project that will take 1 year to complete. An analysis of the project has already been completed and the following resources requirements have been identified. A specialized machine will be acquired for a total 10 weeks. 2 of these weeks are the start of the project and 3 of them at the end. The machine could be hired in from a reputable supplier who will guarantee its availability when it is required for 4,000 Ghana cedis per week. Alternatively, it could be purchased at a cost of 250,000. If it were purchased, it could be sold in 1 year's time for 150,000. The machine were purchased, it could be hired out to other companies for 2,500 per week. It is believed that it will be hired out for a total of 30 weeks. B, the machine has a running cost of 720 Ghana cedis per week. This cost is incurred by the user of the machine. C, it is the company policy to depreciate non-current assets by 25% per year on reducing balance basis. D, skilled labor will be required for a total 9,000 hours during the year. The labor required could be recruited at an hourly rate of 12 Ghana cedis. Alternatively, some of the employees currently working on the other projects within the company could be transferred to this project. Their hourly rate is 10 cedis per hour. If these existing employees were to be transferred, If these existing employees were to be transferred to this project, then they would need to be replaced on their existing project work. Replacement for their existing project work will cost 11 Ghana cedis per hour. E, unskilled labor will be required for a total 12,000 hours during the year. These employees will need to be recruited on 1 year contract at a cost of 8 Ghana cedis per hour. F, the project will need to be supervised and it is estimated that there will be a total of 500 hours of supervision required during the year. One of the existing supervisors could undertake this work, but if he did so, he will have to work a total of 300 hours overtime during the year to carry out the supervision on this project as well as his existing duties. Please, can you scroll up?
Okay, I'm fine.
The supervisor earns a salary of 50,000 Ghana cedis per year for working 2,000 hours and is not paid for overtime work. If this project goes ahead, the supervisor will be paid a bonus of 500 Ghana cedis, which will not be paid if the project is not undertaken. G, the direct materials required for the project are as follows. Material A, the total amount required for the project will have to be purchased at a cost of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Material B, the amount required will be 10,000 square meters. The company purchased 25,000 square meters of this material for a project 2 years ago at a total cost of 100,000. The earlier project used 20,000 square meters of the materials, and the remainder is currently held in inventory. The company does not foresee any other use for this material in the future. Please, can you scroll up? And could sell it for 2 Ghana cedis square meter. The current purchase price of the material is 5 Ghana cedis per square meter. H, the company has already incurred the expenditure of 25,000 in analyzing the resources requirement of the project. I, it is the company policy to attribute overhead costs to project using an absorption rate of 40% on prime costs. J, it is company policy to add 25% profit markup to total cost when setting its prices. Required. A, prepare a statement that shows the relevant cost of the project for each of the resources indicated in notes A to J. You must clearly explain the reason for the cost value that you have used. Ignore the time value of money and taxation. B, assume that the company used your calculations as the basis of the quotation and then added 125,000 for profit. Also assume that all costs incurred were the same as forecast. Explain why the financial profit report at the end of the year will not show a profit of 125,000 for the engineering project.
All right, thank you. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
this is a relevant costing question, and relevant costing, we only use costs that are relevant to the decision. If we say relevant costs, we are saying that costs that are incremental, costs that are avoidable, costs that are opportunity costs, and costs that are future cash flows. Okay, let's come here. A company has been asked to provide a quotation for engineering project that will take 1 year to complete. Okay, an analysis of the project has already been completed, and the following resource requirements have been identified. So let's come to relevant cost statements. So we come to statement of relevant costs. Okay, so let's have the currency sign here, and let's do it 1 by 1. Okay. A company has been asked to do this. Let's come A. A specialized machine will be required for a total of 10 weeks. 2 of these weeks are at the start of the project, and 3 of them are at the end of the project. The machine could be hired in from a reputable supplier who will guarantee its availability when it is required for 4,000 per week. So if we are hiring the machine, how much are we going to be getting? If we are hiring the machine, how much are we going to be paying? So if we are hiring the machine, how much are we going to be paying? So let's do some small workings here. If we want to, so hiring the machine, how much are we going to be producing? How much are we going to be paying? So hiring, how much are we going to be paying? If we are hiring this machine, we don't have the machine. So if you want to produce the contract, you have to go and hire. If you are going to be doing the hiring, how much are you going to be paying for the project life?
4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
4,000
10 weeks.
times 10 weeks.
Okay, 4,000 times 10. Okay. So that will give us how much?
40,000.
40,000.
Okay. So the hiring fee will be 40,000. So hiring fee will be 40,000. Okay. We are going to be sticking to this now. What are they saying now? Okay. Alternatively, it could be purchased at a cost of what? 250,000. If it were purchased, it could be sold in 1 year's time for 150,000. So if we purchase now for 250,000, we are going to be selling at what? At 150,000. So what will be the cost of purchasing?
100,000.
That will be 100,000, isn't it? Okay. But let's
Yes.
continue with the issue again. So we will be incurring a cost of 100,000 and the cost of 100,000, and let's move on. If the machine were purchased, it could be hired out to what? Other companies for 2,500 per week. It is believed that it will be hired out for a total of 30 weeks. We are doing the project for a year, isn't it? We are doing the project
Yes.
for a year. And in a year, how many
Yes.
weeks do we have?
52.
Okay. And the project itself will be, the machine will be used for only 10 weeks, isn't it? The machine will be
Yes.
used for 10 weeks. So it means that we can actually hire for 30 weeks and still use the machine for 10 weeks on our project. Because if you want to hire, it will be 30 weeks and our project will be 10 weeks. That means that we can get the 40 weeks from the year. So what we do is that you look at the benefit of you. So let's look at the cost of you purchasing. The cost will be 250,000. So the cost of purchasing 250,000. What is the benefit that you are going to be getting? The benefit will be the scrap value of how much? 150,000. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And you also be getting the rentals of what? 30 multiplied by
75,000.
2,500. How much are you going to be getting from the rentals?
75,000.
75,000.
Okay. What will be the total benefit?
225,000.
Okay. So what will be the cost that you'll be spending at the end of the day?
25,000.
Okay. So the cost of purchasing is now going to be 25,000. Okay. Between the hiring and purchasing, which option are you going to take?
Purchase.
Purchase.
Okay. And if you're taking purchase, the cost that you are spending over there is what?
25,000.
25.
Okay. So that will give you 25,000. So that is the relevant cost for the machine. Okay. So that is the relevant cost of 25,000. Okay. So you always explain why you included that. Okay. So you just explain your calculation. Okay. If we want to hire the machine, we are going to be paying what? 40,000. Okay. That will be 4,000 by 10. That will be 40,000. But if we purchase the machine, it will be purchased at 250,000. By the end of the year, it will be sold for 150, bringing a cost of what? A net cost of 100,000. But the machine will also be what? Rent out to what? People for 30 weeks. The project is for a year, which is 52 weeks, but the machine will be used for only 10 weeks. So it means that we can still rent out for 30 weeks and still get a 10 weeks and use the machine. So the rentals from the hiring of the machine to other people will be 75,000. So in effect, we are only spending 25,000 on that. So relevant cost, you pick the lower of the cost that you are going to be picking. That is why we are picking 25,000. The relevant cost, you don't have to put only the figure there and move on. You have to explain why that particular figure has been included in your relevant cost for that particular item. Okay. B, the machine has a running cost of 72 per week. This cost is incurred by the user of the machine. Okay. Do you know what they call the running cost? The purchase cost is different from the running cost. I hope we are okay with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you are going to be using the machine for 10 weeks. You'll be buying fuel. Okay, so the fuel can be the what? The running cost. The maintenance can be the running cost. So for this one, your running cost for machine will just be the 720. So if you use it, if you don't use it on that one, so 720 multiplied by 10, that will be 7,200. Okay, so we are including the 7,200 because if the machine is being used for 10 weeks, the company will be the one to incur the running cost. The running cost will be the fuel. So if you don't use, you are not going to buy the fuel. Running cost can be fuel. So if you don't use the machine on the project, there is no way you are going to be buying fuel. But if you use, you have to buy a fuel. Okay, or you have to do maintenance. So if it is not used, you can't do maintenance. So that is the portion of the running cost. So the running cost will just be a 720 multiplied by the number of weeks that you are using the machine. So the running cost is incurred by whoever is using the machine. Okay, so the 30 weeks will be for those two people who are going to be using the machine, but the 10 weeks will be for us. Okay, it is company policy to depreciate non-current asset by 25% per year on reducing balance basis. Would this be a relevant cost?
No.
Depreciation is a non-cash item. We are not including the depreciation because it's a non-cash item. Okay. Relevant cost should be cash flows. It should be cash flows and also future cash flow. So depreciation is ignored because it's a non-cash item. Okay. D, skilled labor will be required for a total of 9,000 hours during the year. Okay. The labor could be recruited at an hourly rate of 12 cedis. Okay. Let's come here. What is the cost of hiring if we want to go outside to go and pick the people to come and work for us? What would be the amounts? Okay, so let's come to labor. Okay, so let's come to the cost of hiring the workers. Okay, so how many hours are we using? We are using
9,000.
9,000, and we are paying them how much? 12 cedis.
Well,
9 multiplied by 12. What are we having?
Then
108,000.
108,000. Okay, we have alternative solution. If we cannot get the people that we want, then it means that we have to go. If we don't have the people already, it means that we have to go and hire them from other places. Okay. Alternatively, some of the employees currently working on other projects within the company could be transferred to these projects. Their hourly rate is 10 cedis per hour. If these existing employees were to be transferred to this project, then the company would need to replace on the existing project work. Replacement for their existing project work will cost what? 11 cedis per hour. What is the cost that you are going to be incurring if you want to transfer the people to the project?
11 cedis per hour.
Yeah, you are going to be incurring 11 cedis.
So,
Okay. What is the cost coming in at because of the decision that you are taking? Okay, the people are currently taking 10 cedi. Okay, but if you move them to the project, you are going to be paying them what? You are going to be replacing them with 11 cedis. Why are you replacing? It's because of the decision to transfer them to the project. So the cost of you transferring them is now 11 cedis, which is the replacement cost. So if you are replacing them, you are moving them to the project now, our replacement costs, we have to replace them. Okay, the replacement is coming as a result of that. The replacement cost will be 9,000 multiplied by 11. I'm getting 99,000. What are you going to do? Replace or you maintain and go and hire?
yes.
Okay, so you have the replacements. Labor will be 99,000. Why are you including this? Because the relevant cost of the people working on a project is what? 99,000. Because if you want to hire them, you are going to be incurring a cost of 108,000. But if you want to replace them, you are going to be incurring a cost of 99,000. So it will be better to replace than what? to go and get people from outside. Our alternative is to what? Is to minimize what? Costs. Okay. So sometimes they will give you, if the people are being transferred, there will be opportunity loss of something. So you also have to use the opportunity cost and the amount that you are currently paying them. So if you are moving them without replacement. Okay, replacement means that okay, there will not be any contribution loss because the work that they are doing, someone will come and do it. So there will not be any contribution loss. But we transferring them without replacement. It means that if you are transferring them, they will not be paid for the hours that they will not use the hours over here. So they will be paid for the work that they are going to be doing. So that will be 10 cedi multiplied by the hours. But if we are moving them, what will be the contribution loss also? What will be the contribution loss also? The contribution will be added to the current amount that we are paying to them. That is without replacement. Okay. That is without replacement. Okay. Let's look at the E. Unskilled labor will be required for a total of 12,000 hours during the year. These employees will need to be recruited on 1-year contract at a cost of what? 8 cedis per hour. So what will be the relevant cost of getting these people?
12,000 multiplied by 8.
Okay, that will just be the amount of getting them. So that will be, let me count to skilled labor here. Skilled labor. So unskilled labor will be 12,000 multiplied by 8, isn't it? Okay, how much are we having? Okay, I'm having 96,000. The relevant cost of getting these people, the company does not have these people available. So the relevant cost of getting them is the cost of you hiring them. That is it. If you are not going to undertaking a project, you cannot incur this cost. So the relevant cost of getting these people is just the amount that you are going to be paying to them. Okay, so let's come to the, okay, if the project will need to be supervised, and it is estimated that there will be a total of 500 hours of supervision required during the year. One of the existing suppliers could undertake this work, but if he did so, he will have to work a total of 300 hours overtime during the year to carry out the supervision on this project as well as his existing duties. The supervisor earns a salary of 50,000 per year for working 2,000 hours and is not paid for overtime. If this project goes ahead, the supervisor will be paid a bonus of 500, which will not be paid if the project is not undertaken. What is the relevant cost of what is the relevant cost of? Yeah, it's a 500. Please don't go and do
500.
don't go and do 5,000 divided by 2,000 multiplied by 300. No, the person is not paid for overtime, and the person is not paid a bonus for working overtime. He's currently not taking a bonus. So the 500 bonus is actually the overtime bonus that he's given. So if not for the work, the 500 will not be incurred. But situation where they will tell you that, okay, they will not mention anything about bonus for you. So you have to find the overtime amount for this person now. And that will be your 50,000 divided by 2,000 hours multiplied by the total overtime that the person will be working, which will be 300 hours. If nothing is being mentioned about bonus. So you have to find the overtime rates. But this person currently, we are not paying him bonus. So the bonus that he's taking is actually because of the overtime. So the bonus given to you is the overtime bonus. Okay. So then we have the supervisor. We have the supervisor cost there. So we have the supervisor. So unskilled labor supervisor will be 500. Okay. So the relevant cost of engaging the supervisor is 500 because if the work is not undertaken, the 500 cedis will not be what? Will not be paid. So that is the relevant cost of engaging that particular person. Let's come to the materials now. Direct materials required for the project are as follows. Total amount required for the project will have to be purchased at a cost of 15,000. What is the relevant cost of? As that is the 15,000. So we don't have that material. We have to go and buy. That might be a specialized material. So we have material A, that will be 15,000. The company does not have this material in store. So for us to go ahead, we have to go and buy the material for 15,000. If the project is not undertaking, this 15,000 will not be what? Will not be incurred. But let's come to material B, which is an interesting area there. Okay, material B, the total amount required will be what? 10,000 square meters. The company purchased 25,000 square meters of this material for a project 2 years ago at a total cost of 100,000. The earlier project used what? 20,000 square meters of the material, and the remainder is currently held in inventory. The company does not foresee any other use for this material in the future and could sell it for 2 cedis per square meter. The current price of the material is 5 cedis per square meter. How many square meters do we need to carry out this project?
10,000.
Okay. Do you have any material in store relating to this?
Yes.
Yes. How many quantity do you have in store?
5,000 square meters.
Okay. Is this material regularly used?
No.
Okay. So we cannot replace it. But the question is, if we don't use it on the contract, can we sell it for any amount?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the question
2
is,
cedis per square.
okay, the question is, if you don't use, you are going to be selling it at what? 2 cedis. But if you don't use, you are going to be selling at 2 cedis, and you are going to be buying it at 5 cedis. Between these two, which one are you going to be using? Will you use and lose the 2 cedi, or you sell and come and buy at 5 cedis? Which of them are you going to be using?
You use.
You use. Okay. If you are using, it means that you are not going to be getting 10,000 from the sale, isn't it? You are going to be selling 5,000 at 2 cedis to someone. Okay. So if you are not using, you are going to be losing what? 10,000, which is an opportunity cost. But the remaining 5,000, what do we have to do?
You have to buy.
Okay.
Buy it at 5.
So we have 2 multiplied by, so this is how the material B cost will be calculated. So 2,000, I say 2,000, 5,000
5,000.
multiplied by 2, then plus 5,000 multiplied by 5.
5,000.
Okay. The 5 we don't have. The
That's
5,000 we don't have. So we have to go and purchase. What are we having?
35,000.
35,000. So the company currently has about 5,000 units in stock, but it does not foresee this. This is not in regular use that we have to replace. So we don't have replacement cost there. But if this is not used, we are going to be selling it for 2 cedis. So if you decide to use now, you can't have a material and say that you are going to be selling that one and be what? And be buying. The only time you can do that is that if the sales price is higher than the what? The buying price. So you sell and go and buy at a cheaper price. But this is a case where if you are going to be buying, it is what? More than this one. So you say, okay, let me just use this one and buy the additional one in addition. So if it is used on the contract, you are going to be losing 10,000, which is an opportunity cost. But the remaining 5,000, you don't have it in store. So you have to go and purchase at the current price of 5 now. So you'll be having 35,000 as the cost over there. The company has already incurred expenditure of 25,000 in analyzing so you can bring, so what you do is that let's bring some of the items that are not relevant. So let's bring depreciation. So you just write a note to the depreciation to be dashed. Okay. So we also have the
Some cost.
the research expenditure, you write a footnote to that. So those that will not be part, push dash there. And
Yeah.
so the company already incurred expenditure analyzing. So analyzing cost. So let's just say feasibility cost. Okay. Feasibility cost, that will be dash. Why? Because it is what? It is a past cost.
Some cost.
Sunk cost. Okay. Let's come to the company. The company policy is to attribute overhead cost to project using absorption rate of what? 40% of prime cost. Okay. This is a cost that will just be shared. It is a shared cost. Absorbed costs are not what? Are not what? Are not relevant. It's a cost. It can be a depreciation that we are going to be sharing, or it can be an administrative cost that they are going to be using basis to apportion. Okay. So overhead cost will be dashed because absorbed overheads are not what? This is not a relevant overhead cost. So we count to profit. We don't do profit on that. So we just determine our profit is something that is on the cost. So profit is not a cost on its own. So it's not part of the relevant cost. Let's total it and see.
$277,700.
200 and
77,700. Somebody can count.
277.
okay, 277,200. Please revise the relevant cost very well.
700.
Okay.
277.
700. 700. 27. Yes, sir.
Okay. So revise your relevant cost very well. Revise your limiting factor also very well. And the limiting factor. Okay. Revise your limiting factor very well. Let me see if you can try this limiting factor question and okay, this question is about limiting factor. Question number 3. So you can try that and maybe send me the solution. I'll look at it. Yes. So this will be for this morning. I'll give you an update on the long-term decision making, which will be the investment appraiser, because I have
The question B.
okay. Question B. Yeah. Yes, scenario code. I know that you can explain this one because I've explained this note in what in class before. Okay, why relevant costing will not be the same as the what? Relevant costing will not reflect the actual profit for the period. If you're adding a profit of 125,000 for this, okay, they assume that the company used your calculation as the basis of quotation and then added what? 125,000 for profits. Also assume that all costs incurred were the same as forecast. Explain why the financial profits report at the end of the year will not show a profit of what? 125,000. You can see that relevant costing, we don't include certain items, isn't it? Okay. But if you are preparing your profit for the year, the 25,000 will be captured as an expense. Is that correct? 25,000 will be captured as an expense. Okay. Our prime cost, these are overhead costs will also be captured, isn't it? Our overhead costs will also be captured and depreciation will also be captured. So since those will be captured as part of the cost, it means that will automatically reduce the actual profit to a profit that will be lower than 125,000, because the relevant costing, we don't capture this cost. So the relevant costing does not give a true definition of what the cost that will be incurred on the project. We only use relevant cost. So relevant cost is just for a short term. It cannot be for the long run because fixed costs, some of the fixed costs are not captured. We capture only incremental fixed cost. So the depreciation, we are going to be using a machine. Depreciation should be calculated, but we say depreciation is a non-cash item. But depreciation is reflect the actual what? Consumption or part of the what? The asset that has been used to generate the income. But you say that it's a non-cash item, so it will not be captured. But in our statement, in our actual statement, depreciation will be captured as an expense. So it means that depreciation value will be reducing our actual profit by a figure lower than the relevant costing profit that you are having. So you just talk about those issues that are not captured under the relevant costing. If they are being captured in the actual statement, they are going to be reducing the profit by the amount that they will be captured at. That is it. All right. Okay. So that is it for that particular one. Okay. So as I was saying, I'll give you updates on long-term decision making, which will be the investment appraisal. But for now, you have to now be revising on your own. At least you can't gamble. No, this is not academic that you say 2 weeks to the exam, you come and learn. No, nobody's going to give you areas. Please, too much of information will also help you not to get anything. You don't have to learn everything. The possibility that you see the question before going to the exam is 90% what? Low. 90. Let's say 90% is even okay. 98% low. The possibility of you getting the paper before going to the exam hall is 2%. 90% that you will not get. So you don't have to rely on, okay, let me get information from, oh, these people are sending me questions, these people are sending me questions. So you don't know what to do. You are now frustrated. Please. The question will not be set out of the syllabus. Question will be set on contemporary approaches, relevant short-term decision making, budgeting, standard costing, investment appraisal, and also the performance evaluation. So if you understand issues under this one, why should you be worried again? Too much information overload can help you to fail the exam. It will help you to fail the exam. So you don't have to rely on so many. No, the possibility that you are going to see the paper before going to the exam hall is 2%, just 2%. So please, let's take care of ourselves. Let's revise. Let's be very vigilant and see what God will do. You don't have to rely. They say intervention this way. You go there and you don't even know what they are saying. They are solving a question. You say, oh, where is this question in there? You are frustrated. As soon as you are frustrated, you have failed the exam in advance. Please, let's be patient. Pray to God so that on that particular day, 2nd July, we can be able to do something in the exam hall. If there are no questions, no suggestion, I will see you guys. Take care of yourself. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hello, sir. Quick one. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm